How do we act daily to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius or, at worst, 2 degrees Celsius? Here are ideas to implement. The latest IPCC report is clear. We must do everything possible to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. In other words, radically reduce CO2 emissions to reach negative emissions by 2040, absorb more CO2 than emitted. To achieve this, everyone has a role to play. Reduce heating consumption. Drive fewer kilometers. Avoid planes. Eat more vegetables and less meat. Zero waste. Buy less and preserve. Switch to renewable energy. 1. Reduce heating consumption. The ideal is to reduce this consumption through better insulation in your home. It also brings more comfort. We try to reduce surfaces. Find well-insulated accommodation. Moving to a location well served by public transport. Whether you are an owner or tenant, it pays special attention to reducing heating during absences and at night, energy savings of 15 to 25%, and limiting the heating temperature to 19 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Celsius. 2. Drive a little bit. The car can be very comfortable, but it is not necessarily the most efficient mode of transport. Think about traffic jams. For short trips, ideal is walking, cycling, scooter. We do not move enough, which leads to problems such as overweight or cardiovascular disease. Therefore, we combine health and environmental benefits when choosing active modes of transport. Public transport is preferable. And if we have to take the car, let's try to make it as crowded as possible. This reduces the number of cars on the road and polluting emissions. You can also work remotely. This reduces travel emissions by 20%. However, with the 10% reduction in traffic, you will switch from congested traffic to normal traffic. 3. Avoid the plane. An airplane consumes a lot of kerosene. Emissions further increase the impact on the climate. Preferably the train or even the bus. More information: how to reduce air pollution. 4. Eat more vegetables and less meat. Multiple environmental impacts: deforestation, fertilizer use and manure management. Manure and sludge, and methane production by ruminants are sources of significant greenhouse gas emissions. Eating too much meat is also bad for your health. Therefore, we prefer to eat meat less often, in smaller quantities, locally produced and of better quality. You can become flexible, eat meat only occasionally, or vegetarian. 5. Zero waste. 1 kg of waste is believed to cause 1 kilogram of CO2 emissions. We produce a large amount of waste, almost 500 kilograms per person per year. Even though some are recycled, disposable plastic is especially abused. 6. Buy fewer things and keep them. For a long time, buying a smartphone, jeans or a dishwasher does not seem to create a lot of greenhouse gases. However, when we look at the life cycle, from production to disposal, we see that it is far from trivial. For high technology, it is about all the production phase which has a great impact. Be careful to keep the items longer, for example, 3 years instead of 2 for a smartphone. 7. Switch to renewable energy. Globally, 40% of CO2 emissions are due to electricity production, as coal is still widely used. You can choose a green electricity supplier. It is not necessarily more expensive. 4 of the 8 suppliers recommended by Greenpeace are below the average market price. To combat global warming, major nations are holding summits, signing agreements and investing millions of euros. But each, on its own scale, can contribute to trying to preserve our planet, namely by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, which are responsible for global warming with alarming consequences. Concrete consequences of global warming. Saving electricity. Many small and very simple actions can save electricity. Although the energy itself is not harmful, the effects of its production are very harmful. On the other hand, electricity from nuclear energy produces radioactive waste, which is harmful to humans and the environment. Gas or coal-fired power plants generate greenhouse gas emissions. To try to influence this heavy industry, you just need to change some habits at home. First of all, the replacement of classic light bulbs with those with low consumption. LED lamps are the best solution because they consume little, last a long time and light up well. Likewise, even simpler, turn off the lights when you leave the room. Heating represents 62% of a house's energy consumption. Lowering it by a few degrees saves money quickly. To warm up, you can do a few simple things, such as closing the shutters, installing double glazing, replacing gaskets if they are damaged. Reducing the temperature of washing machines and dishwashers also allows you to consume less energy, especially when programs are shorter. A bad habit can easily disappear, leaving the chargers connected with nothing at the end or overnight. It continues to consume unnecessary electricity even when the device is fully charged. Disconnecting them only takes a second. Give priority to showers. High water consumption also generates CO2 emissions, especially since wastewater treatment consumes a lot of energy. The other impact on the environment is, of course, that groundwater is not inexhaustible. Of course, agriculture is the first to consume water, 48% of the national total, and families represent only 24% of water consumption. Use of public transport. Air pollution, CO2 emissions, energy consumption, transport are responsible for many evils. Of course, it is not always easy to take the bus. And if even this solution is inconceivable, it is possible to do it during the holidays. Taking the train instead of the plane not only avoids the high consumption of kerosene, but also the condensation that forms and increases the formation of clouds, which in turn causes the Earth's surface to heat up. An incredible amount of waste is produced today. However, most of this waste is incinerated, 30%, or stored, 36%. Between the smoke emitted, the transport for its recovery and the energy for its transformation, all our waste produces an enormous amount of greenhouse gases. But it is possible to reduce them, mainly by banning, little by little, everything that is disposable. In the kitchen, absorbent rolls of paper can be replaced with sponges and dish towels. For grocery shopping, disposable cloth bags replace plastic, and paper bags can replace large amounts of packaging. In the office, the cup or mug prevents the use of too many plastic cups. Small, simple daily gestures can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. When we consume energy through our daily purchases, we directly or indirectly produce greenhouse gas emissions. It is preferable to use environmentally friendly heating methods instead of traditional methods. There is a wide variety of environmentally friendly heating systems, such as solar water heaters, geothermal energy or wood heating. Combating global warming should not only be an initiative of governments and companies, but also of individuals. The small daily gestures of billions of people on the planet can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions responsible for climate change.